come here, go to the moon. You must get into this thing and go to the moon together. We are not going to any moon with anyone. We are remaining here. They can go to the moon alone. We are not part of the moon.
The last point I want to make is that there are patients who receive medication every month. Some of them are bedridden. They are being driven with wheelbarrows to go and collect medication on their own because no one can take the medication on their behalf. Checkpoint must go and investigate that. People driven with wheelbarrows to hospitals. Who are these people? These are the people who receive special visits when we register for elections. These are the people who receive special visits when we vote. They are called special voters because we want their votes. But when they are sick and it's time to collect their medication, there's nothing special about them. They have to be put in a wheelbarrow. It must come to an end. If there are special voters, there must be special throughout. There must be special with medication. There must be special with RDP houses. There must be special with SASA. They must be visited at home and paid at home. They are driven with wheelbarrows to the pain points. Only when their votes are needed, they are important people. It must come to an end.
Remember when Cyril got elected, de Klerk said, if Cyril sticks to his words, everything will be fine. And his words were, if I get elected, these dysfunctional things, we'll sell them to you. So this is how capital work. They go and make a state institution to be dysfunctional, so that all of you cry and cry and cry, and then they say, that guy who owned Virgin. They say Richard Branson came to our rescue. He's buying that thing we're all complaining about that is collapsing, SAA. Because all of us, when SAA collapsed, we're all going to be angry. We're going to be worried. When they say the man is coming to rescue it, is buying it, he will save jobs, we go like, oh yeah, yeah. That's how we start. You create a crisis.
Maloba mo, ritsolwa rilwantsa vet, bari kantirieta di joke. Raya go court here, this vet must not come in. We don't want vet. Today, vet is out. We are starting a new battle. Akiriba tubagidi tsotsi ba ANC. How ba shapa ka mo batla kam. Re ba shapile ka vete, re sa relaxite re monat, bar no petrol levy. Hey tsotsi cheban. Petrol levy away. The taxi, the VAT is the same thing. Even the levy is worse because petrol affects everyone, affects everything. Ha bakery eats a kotropo, itamo. Already it must pay. Which means the price of bread is going to go high. Tomorrow, but by a misebeting, ha levy petrol ya kodim, inyulua. It means taxi, chelete ya taxi, ya nyulua leona. Hauna ntoesa nyuluing, ha petrol levy nyulua. So we are fighting that in parliament. Or arriba atli, the same way sabatlim vet, leona arriba atli. Fighters, relwanela urbana, kau fela bona, bana, kodi kolong, ba tsenenko tertiary, ba kolotangi, tertiary, the call of fees chabona, the cancel, the fees, all of them. We want the student debt cancelled. Bana baba create results. Bayo khona wetsa ntho sheba mesebetsi ba tshwere di qualification. Let us cancel the student debt to restore the dignity of young people of South Africa. I'm very happy, Councillor, and I agree with you.
There is a court decision that must be respected. Those who have appealed it, they must go and fight it in court. We won, and we shall sing this song in line with
the court decision. The Court of South Africa, an independent court, has made a declaration on this matter and is closed. This is sponsored outrage by Helen Zille. You know, black people, there are some black, clever blacks who are told by Helen Zille to get angry. Yo, Helen is angry, now we must be angry also. I don't even want to talk about that illiterate John Steenhuisen. If Helen was opposed to this for real, why didn't Helen join the case? Why didn't the DA join the case when I was taken to Equality Court? Why didn't the Freedom Front join the case if they are genuine? So I'm not going to over-explain myself.
You know there are some South Africans, and let us be blunt, many white South Africans,
Yes,
who fear Julius Malema. Some of them have said to me, if Malema gets to power or close to power, I will leave this country. Do you welcome their fear, or do you want to find ways to overcome their fear?
I don't welcome their fear. Stephen, they said that about Mandela, the most celebrated Mandela. You're talking about me. They said if Mandela, a prisoner, becomes the president, who will live in this country, and they left. I was in the Vaal River the other day, looking at some of the houses that whites abandoned in 1994 when Mandela became a president. They are not scared of Julius Malema. They are scared of an independent black man who's not controlled by any white person, who's not controlled by London.
Ramaphosa can go and explain all those things there. No one will listen to him. Mandela tried to tell George Bush there are no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Thabo Mbeki tried to convince the leadership of America that there are no weapons of mass destruction. South Africa even released special envoys to Iraq to go and check those weapons of mass destruction. There was nothing. They told America, brought all manner of evidence. America never listened to them.
Because the U.S. be having their own agenda, and the U.S. believes they're the big brother of every country, bro. So come on now, y'all know how big brothers act. They ain't gonna listen to y'all. Y'all small fish.
This little demonstration was discussed, Mr. Malema, with Jock. The likelihood is that we would not have been here, you would not have been coming to this court for 5 years.
No, you brought me wrongly here, and you know that. Either you want to build your career with my name, using my name, and destroy my reputation, and destroy the future of my children and my wife. You know very well that you brought me here wrongly. Look at all the 19 statements that you have led before this court. No one can associate me with any wrongdoing. I cannot regret having done nothing wrong. I possessed a toy. It requires no license. It requires nobody's permission for me to use it at any time. Well, if that was a requirement, I would have complied with the law. Like the person you brought here of the job, who said this was the best team ever, the most disciplined and highly cooperative.
Mr. Malema, may I request that we maintain the mutual respect we had for one another since the beginning of this trial up to now.
What do you mean by that?
Just a request that I'm having.
What do you mean by that? You brought me here for 6 years for no issue. And that is not disrespectful. It's robust, but it's not disrespectful. I'm being honest. You have put this court in this predicament because you could have taken a decision when you took over the case. When the first prosecutor left, you could have taken over the case and made a decision on your own independently and objectively. You refused to do that. It was you in the argument of 174 who said, had you known the facts you know now about Larry Mabunda, you would have charged him. That on its own should have told you there is something wrong here. And as an objective prosecutor,
decline to proceed with something that has got loopholes. I'm not being disrespectful, Your Worship. I'm being honest. And I'm telling my truth as I see it.
In hindsight, this idea of having this particular demonstration at the particular stadium, Mr. Malema, what I'm trying to say to you is that if that was discussed with Jock, it would have been easily resolved that this was indeed a toy firearm, as you claim that you used on the night in question.
My brother, there was no need, because no license is required, no permission is required. You have not led any evidence that suggests there was a need for a permission to be acquired before you use a toy gun. Police officers in their different ranks, including some aspects who came here, they've made it very clear you require no license to use a toy. Your Worship, everything that required a permission of the JOG went past the JOG. And who is the witness for us here? Is the JOG person who came here and said they were the most compliant, disciplined people I've ever dealt with, and had very good words to say about our Secretary General.
Thank you. You also testified regarding the bodyguards that have always been present.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
Yes.
You still haven't been able to establish the name of the bodyguard that you showed yesterday on the video footage.
You can ask me the name, I will give it to you with ease.
Do you know it?
Yes, Curry. Warrant Officer Curry. Khari. There were actually two. The other one is Chauke.
I'm still busy with the
Oh.
KHI.
Khari.
And the second one?
Chauke. Chauke, CHA.
I've got it.
Okay.
You also said that if there was anything untoward, they would have acted on that stadium if that was indeed a real firearm. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And my witness is, I don't know what you call him, Colonel Swart Boy, who said in his evidence in chief here that had something happened wrongly in front of those people, they had a duty to take an action against him. I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting him verbatim.
Mr. Malema, these statements was read relating to the bodyguards were read to Colonel Swartboy when he was testifying. I'm going to go through it again. The one of Andile Kume.
Yes.
He states that I hereby states in English under oath, he gives his rank as a sergeant in the South African Police Service. He's stationed at the Protection Security Services in East London. He hereby confirms, unless the context, I don't want to read through the legalities, I just want to go to the crux of his statement if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's A65. I'm going to start with the first paragraph from the top, where he says that my colleague and I, known as Sergeant Nzelani, also stationed at the Protection Security Services East London, was at East London Airport on 21st July 2018, awaiting the arrival of Mr. Malema and his dignitaries. 3 colleagues from the National Protection Security Officers known as Collins, Chauke, and Gary joined us at the London airport on the mentioned date. On 28 July 2018, I was the leading vehicle alone with Collins driving Mr. Malema, Julius Malema, and Sergeant Zelani and Kari as the backup vehicle. We departed from the Julius Malema accommodation to the Sisa Dukasha Stadium, Dansani, London, and stated in the above formation. On our arrival at the stadium, myself and Sergeant Zelani were not allowed into the designated stage area and remained outside. During the evening late, we were allowed inside the designated area where the detailed vehicles was parked. At no stage did I witness any shooting or enter the stage area. He said I issued with a Glock 9mm. I don't think the remainder of that paragraph is relevant to whatever, but he says that at no stage did he enter that area or the stadium.
We'll have to read it again. I mean, you are the one who's reading it. He says, were later allowed into the designated, and then you say, after reading that, you say, he says, at no stage was he ever allowed. He says, were later allowed into the designated area, and I've not seen anything wrong.
Where the vehicles was parked. He didn't say on the stage, he says where the vehicles was parked.
Your worship, were not allowed in the designated area. Later were allowed into the designated area. So where were the cars parked all along? Where?
Can I ask
Because the story is that once they drop you off, you go around the stage. Both the driver of the main car and the backup car will now take the cars right behind the stage. Because as part of protection protocols, is that in a case of danger, you must be rescued from the stage right into the car and escape. Or you're going to be rescued into the car when you still have to run to the parking and there is some bus which has blocked your car. Always, the VIP cars are parked in a manner that, in a way, without saying, they're preparing escape. That's why when they arrive, they might be facing the direction opposite the gate, but they will have to turn them around to face the gate. Because when the need for the escape comes, there will not be time to turn the cars around. They must always be in a state of readiness for escape.
Can I ask you, Mr. Malema, where was these cars parked?
Behind the stage.
Behind.
Yes, behind the stage. And Your Worship, I mentioned to you 2 names of all the 5 that were there. I mentioned to you 2 names, that of Kari and Chauke, that they were on the stage. There might be 5, out of 5 of them, 2 ordinarily will be drivers. It will be a driver of the main car and a driver of the backup. And the rest of the 3 deploy each other, position themselves in such a way that they don't lose contact with the body. Yes. And Your Worship, if you were to ask me who were the drivers, like the names he's reading from the Eastern Cape, I don't know them. Police just tell me when you arrive, you're going to find a VIP protection at the airport, and then these are other 3 VIP protectors with you. So the reason why Chauke and Kari are known to me is because before East London, they've been on my body for quite some time.
I don't have to know them. They are subs. They are men of cloth. They are trustworthy. As long as they are known to the principals and the principals say to me, this is what goes on, my job is to comply and trust subs with those responsibilities.
If this person was in the area where he says he was, cars parked, as you stated, behind the stadium, could he have witnessed, I'm asking you, could he have witnessed what transpired if the shots were fired on the stage, if he was where he say he was?
A policeman has got ears of a dog. If a firearm was to be shot here, policemen by their instinct will hear there's something wrong. And they will dare to follow up as to, are we still on course or is there a problem? So as a VIP protector, had he had things that are funny and intimidating, surely he was going to pay attention, to look at the direction of his colleagues, to see if there is danger coming so that he can prepare himself. He was not sleepy. He doesn't say in that statement he was sleeping.
Could he have seen, if he was in that area where the cars were parked behind the stadium, could he have seen if those shots were fired when it was fired?
Your Worship, I wouldn't know. But the fact of the matter is the police officer was there with me, right next to the stage where I was, looking after the cars, whereas his colleagues were with me on the stage.
He says he didn't see anything.
I can't be bothered by police. I have to deliver a 2-hour speech at that time. That's what goes through my head. My security, who does what, it is their duty. They get paid for that. I get paid for giving a speech. Let's all do our jobs. It's not my job to look at where police are and what they are doing. They will give a report if something goes wrong with that body, which they are assigned to look after. So you now want to make me a supervisor of police. I must now look after them instead of them looking after me. It's not my duty.
If I understood your evidence correctly yesterday, was that 4 police bodyguards were always with you. You even said when you go to the toilet, these people will be with you.
I've never said 4 bodyguards were always with me. I said these are bodyguards and they are assigned to a body. When you go to a toilet, they are there. It can't be all 4 of them. Obvious. I mean, they assign each other's responsibilities. I was just saying to the court, I had subs with me. As to which one was in the car, which one was on the stage, their pocketbook will tell. But subs was there. And it is not in dispute, Your Worship, that I had police with me.
Thank you.
People are going to be arrested now, Matlatsi. Watch the space. CFOs, municipal managers, mayors, and some politicians in the ANC. I want to tell you now that if there is any municipality that can say, we put money into the VBS because Malema said we must do that, I will resign all the positions of the EFF without any hesitation.
Mr. Malema.